Hi everyone, hope you're having a great Thursday. It is an absolutely scorching day here in Northern Ireland. So we are enjoying the sunshine. I'm nice and colourful today. The weather is absolutely beautiful, and today I am going to make a video that's a really interesting topic. It could be quite out there for some people. Other people may already know a lot about this, but it's something that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while, and that I'm going to continue talking about for a long time. It ties in very much with the topic of a video I did last week about starseeds. And the topic of the video today is ancient civilizations and how they relate to what's going on the planet right now in terms of this ascension process that's happening, where we are moving from 3D to 5D. So I want to talk about how all of those things are connected. So just a quick update on the current energy this week. I did do an energy update on Monday and we were talking about the Lion's Gate. The energy this week has been so intense. I've been hearing from so many people that they're feeling out of sorts, all sorts of physical and emotional symptoms. I'm seeing on the clock it's 444 at the moment. I've been seeing 44 and 144 like there's no tomorrow, all day, every day. It's just crazy at this stage. So yeah, the energy has been so intense. Even people who are not really aware of the kind of spiritual energies with the Lion's Gate, people have been complaining of being tired, lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous, sore throats, inflamed chests, sinuses, depressed, emotional, all of these myriad of symptoms that have been happening, which are very much connected with the Lion's Gate and these high frequency energies which are coming onto the planet. Myself, I just was exhausted for a few days over the weekend leading up until the peak, which was Monday. And ever since Monday, then the symptoms have been gradually getting less and less. So today I was finally able to go to the gym, which I was absolutely delighted about to be able to do. And I'm just enjoying now the beautiful weather. And of course then tonight and early in the morning, we're having a full moon in Aquarius. So that's another massive event that just means this week has been really intense overall. We're just getting over the Lion's Gate and now we're into the full moon. So we've got this full moon Aquarian energy, and Aquarius is the sign of forward thinking, future, innovative, freedom seeking, humanitarian. So this is all very much connected with the energies of the new earth being manifested. And I just feel at the moment there is this real sense of things coming to a sort of a boiling point, things coming to a crescendo. It feels like the old energies are really just getting being tied up now. Things are being sort of brought to a natural conclusion and we're about to start a whole new reality. That's my personal feeling. Hi Katrina. So this is exciting. I have planned to do at my moon circle tonight really a massive release. And I was in the garden earlier and I was just going around clearing the space and just cleansing the energy of the space and preparing it for tonight. And I just got this real sense of just reflecting on everything that we've been through, especially the last few years, where all of the darkness of this matrix has sort of come to a crescendo, and it has become so intense that we've been through so much as a collective, and it has been very traumatic. And I just wanted to spend this evening at the moon circle helping people to just release all of this negative energy that has been built up, all of this stagnant energy, all of this trauma that we've been carrying collectively for so long, which has just come to this climax over the past 2 years. I feel like now is the time to just finally let go of it all and clear it all out of our systems. And I feel like the Lion's Gate has really been trying to do that for us this year so that we can just clean the slate and start a whole new life, a whole new reality, a whole new earth. So that's the sense that I'm getting at the moment. So let's get into the subject for today, where I want to talk about ancient civilizations and how it relates to what we're going through at the moment on the planet, and soul evolution in general, because soul evolution is really the subject that I am most passionate about. This has been a journey I've been on for about 12 years now, since around 2012, and maybe slightly before that. And 2012, that would be 10 years ago. Yeah, around 2010 it started, but 2012 I would say is when I really had my full sort of awakening process started to happen. So let's just talk a little bit about these ancient civilizations. And one of the first, if not the first, civilization that is said to have been present on the planet is Lemuria. And Lemuria, from what I have learned from many different sources, was a time, it makes me think of just the Garden of Eden. It was a time when we were living just in harmony with nature. It's said that the first humans were seeded by the Pleiadians. Some people would say it was by the Venusians, but it is this sort of Pleiadian energy, Venusian energy. It's very pure, innocent, feminine energy, and this living in harmony with nature. Just beingness, just a state of beingness and being in harmony and bliss. And this was obviously a time of great peace on the earth. It's said that the beings of Lemuria were not really even properly really physical, and that they were like blue beings. And this is very much connected with the Venusian energy and the Pleiadian energy. And even back through mythology and through ancient texts, a lot of the gods were portrayed as having blue skin, and I feel that this really traces back to this Lemurian time, these Lemurian times. And it said really that while this was a very much a harmonious and blissful time, that humanity was only at the very early stages of development, and this was really still quite an immature level of development, and it has been sort of compared to like adolescence, that we were still in our adolescence, and that in order to evolve we had to then move on to a new level of development, because this was really about, if you think about it, the bottom, the first two chakras, the root chakra, the connection to the earth, and the sacral chakra, our relationships and being together and being creative, and these feminine chakras, these feminine energies being developed. But that there wasn't really any sense of ambition or drive among humanity at this time, and really then it became a time when a new energy had to come in order to activate the next levels of development. So now we're talking about the masculine energy coming in. And so then we're leading from Lemuria then more into the Atlantean times, where there was a lot more of this masculine energy coming in, and the masculine energy became the predominant energy, and we had this real drive to create new amazing structures and civilizations, and the technology started to be born on the planet, and we had these amazing cities of light and the crystal and sound technology. And this was this real builder phase. If you think of, this was very much in the mind. This is when the mind was being activated, and these masculine energies. But at some point in our history, we seem to have had the entrance of some nefarious forces which have come onto the planet and began to use the power for nefarious reasons. And for this reason then, Atlantis eventually did fall, and there are many different theories as to how this happened. It suggested that this crystal energy was misused and the power of the mind was misused in such a way that it caused a massive nuclear explosion which actually destroyed Atlantis and wiped out most of the planet and most of the life on the planet. It said that all of these amazing structures were destroyed, and we see evidence of this has been found all over in many different ways. And that this plunged humanity really back into a very primitive level of evolution, very primitive level of being, like a sort of caveman, hunter-gatherer status again, because all of the knowledge was lost, all of the technology was lost. And our sort of recent history in school would lead us to believe that this caveman status was really where we came from. So it omits all of these ancient civilizations that existed before this time. So since then, since the fall of Atlantis, we have gone through many different ages, and we've had many different societies, matriarchal societies, patriarchal societies, and many different sort of star races have come to Earth to try and uplift the consciousness of humanity, of the Earth, and to help restore humanity back to the level that they are capable of being. So we have, ancient Egypt, and we have, the ancient Greece, and all of these civilizations in which there was this deep spiritual knowledge being shared long before Christianity appeared on the planet. So as we're heading now towards this new time on the planet, in order to have a sustainable golden age, we have to merge the feminine energies of Lemuria and the masculine energies of Atlantis, because this was part of the problem with Atlantis. It was all in the head, it was all masculine, and there was no respect for the planet. The heart had sort of gone out of it for these nefarious forces. So in order to create an advanced civilization that is actually sustainable in the long term, we need to bring together the masculine and the feminine together, this merging of the two. I'm going to read a little excerpt from this very classic book that many people will recognise. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, because it ties in with what I'm talking about. Now, this is really kind of fictional, but it relates very much to what I'm talking about with these different energies, the Venusian energy and the Martian energy, and the feminine experience on Earth and the masculine, and how they have been sort of polarized in a way. So imagine that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. One day long ago, the Martians, looking through their telescopes, discovered the Venusians. Just glimpsing the Venusians awakened feelings they had never known. They fell in love and quickly invented space travel and flew to Venus. The Venusians welcomed the Martians with open arms. They had intuitively known that this day would come. Their hearts opened wide to a love they had never felt before. The love between the Venusians and the Martians was magical. They delighted in being together, doing things together, and sharing together. Though from different worlds, they revelled in their differences. They spent months learning about each other, exploring and appreciating their different needs, preferences, and behaviour patterns. For years, they lived together in love and harmony. Then they decided to fly to Earth. In the beginning, everything was wonderful and beautiful, but the effects of the Earth's atmosphere took hold, and one morning, everyone woke up with a particular kind of amnesia, selective amnesia. Both the Martians and the Venusians forgot that they were from different planets and were supposed to be different. In one morning, everything they had learned about their differences was erased from their memory, and since that day, men and women have been in conflict. So that was the introduction to this book. As I said, it's a very classic book, but I think it actually has a very deep meaning, even though this is meant to be sort of quite humorous and fictional, the way that it's presented. I think it has a lot of significance in terms of what I'm talking about, and this soul evolution that we are all on a journey of. And to me, the crux of the matter is this merging and this balancing of the masculine and feminine energies, and that civilizations in the past have not lasted because they have been out of balance. Too much feminine or too much masculine. And even in our modern society and over the past few decades in this lifetime, there has been a lot of disagreement and disharmony between the sexes, and we've seen this present itself in a huge rise in marital breakups and relationship breakups, and we haven't quite got it right yet where we are able to work together and merge together and work harmoniously together to create a world that is ideal for everybody, men, women and children, and all of nature, animals and the plant kingdom and everything. So it's all about this merging of the masculine and feminine. It's about the balancing of the chakras. It's about the balancing of all of the elements: earth, water, fire and air. They're their first four chakras. The fifth chakra is ether. And I'm going to show you a symbol here now, which is called the caduceus symbol. You may recognize it. This is where conspiracy theorists really start to get it wrong, because I've been, observing a lot going on in the conspiracy theory kind of communities over the past couple of years, where they've got carried away with themselves and, they're all into the sort of reptiles, and not saying that there aren't reptilian life forces and beings in the cosmos, perhaps here on Earth as well, probably most definitely. But every time they see a snake, they get themselves all hot and bothered and say that this is satanic. But really what this symbol represents, is the staff in the middle is the spine. The two serpents coiling around the spine are the masculine and feminine energies meeting at the top in the head, at the pineal gland, at the third eye chakra. And then we have the wings appearing. So this is when the energy has moved up the spine through the healing of all and balancing of all the chakras and the energies, and then the masculine and feminine energies meet at the third eye, and then we have the activation of the pineal gland and the activation of the spiritual centers at the top of the head, which then really propels us into a whole new level of being. A whole new level of being is just what these wings represent. So then we are on the way to becoming these fully realized God beings of a spiritual nature. So that's what the symbol represents. And as we go up through the spine, the chakras all need to be cleared out. They all need to be blockages removed, the chakras activated and balanced in order for this energy to move in an unobstructed way and to activate these spiritual centers. So it's only whenever we have balanced all of the energy along the way that we can become fully functional human beings. And very few people have done this. Very, very few people. And I get a little bit frustrated sometimes in spiritual communities because there's very little understanding often of the very basic, technology that's involved in spiritual evolution, and people just sort of get caught up in a very superficial expression of spirituality, sort of going to spiritual festivals and drinking green juice and wearing spiritual jewellery and using spiritual language like love and light and namaste and all of this. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, it's all lovely. But people are not really doing the deep work of getting into their own energy and seeing what needs to be healed, what needs to be shifted, all the shadow work that needs to be done, all of the hard work. It's unpleasant. You can't just sort of meditate your way and chant your way into enlightenment and soul evolution. You have to actually put in the work, and this is what it's all about. It's all about, this is what the chakra system's all about. This is what astrology is all about. There are 12 signs of the zodiac. There are 12 strands of DNA. Hi Sinead, yes, so you're on board with me here. That's good. So 12 strands of DNA in the original blueprint of the human being. So astrology is about mastering these 12 different types of energy that are part of the divine, and we have to be able to master and embody all of these energies in order to become fully realized spiritual beings. So that's what astrology is all about. Tarot, there are 22 keys of the major arcana in the tarot, and there are said to be 22 chakras within the extended chakra system. So the tarot again is all about mastering these different archetypes, and again these are made up of masculine and feminine archetypes. And when we get to the end of that, when we get to the end of the major arcana, we have the world, which is the combination of all of the archetypes together. And when we have mastered all of the archetypes through living the many different lives that we live, then we activate this energy of the world, where we become creators, master co-creators, masters of the physical realm. So this is what soul evolution is all about, and as you can tell, this really lights me up because this is really my purpose. Ayurveda, another way, just another expression of how we can work with these energies. It's all about balancing the different elements, earth, air, water, fire. It's about identifying where your imbalances are and how to balance that out. So at the moment we have been living in a 3D reality, and we're moving now into 4D and into 5D, but eventually, you know, to become fully realized, it's about going back up to 12D, but we can only go in certain stages. And at the moment on the planet, the general level of consciousness is moving from this 3D level into the 4D level, and hopefully in the not too distant future into the 5D. And when I say in the not too distant future, we could be talking years, we could be talking decades, we could be talking hundreds of years, thousands of years, that this is a process is occurring, but it's certainly starting to happen now. And it all depends on how aware we are at an individual level, because things cannot happen collectively without them first happening on an individual level. And this is why you often find some individuals who are much more advanced than the collective. So some people sort of take it upon themselves to go through these massive spiritual awakenings and to do this intense spiritual work on themselves and raise their consciousness to a very high level. And then that has a ripple effect on the people around them. But for a time, they're at a much higher level, and it takes time for this to ripple out and to affect people. You know, it's said that there is a light worker within every, say, 10-mile radius or whatever, that these people affect such a large number of people around them, but it takes time for it to filter through, you know, for people to get activated and start become interested and start to learn about these things and then start to do the work on themselves. But it has to start somewhere. It has to start with someone. So light workers often have a very difficult time, or starseeds have a very difficult time because they don't fit in with the culture around them, because it's at a very dense level, and they can't really afford to allow themselves to get dragged down into it. So they have to keep their energy pure, and they have to keep their frequency high if they're going to have a positive impact on those around them. So it often involves a lot of solitude. As well as then interacting with people and teaching and sharing these spiritual ideas and practices and everything that's needed to get this shift going. So it's all very well just sort of watching videos about, you know, we're moving into 5D, and yes, this energy is coming onto the planet, but we need to know how to work with it consciously, and we need to work consciously with our own evolution in order to manifest a new reality. So that's what I really wanted to talk about today. This is a really interesting subject, something I'm going to be talking about a lot more. We're all just learning as we go along. I'm by no means the expert, although I have been on a very intense spiritual journey for a very long time. I've been very dedicated and disciplined along that path for over a decade. There hasn't been a day gone by where I haven't worked on myself on some level, be it physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. And that's really what it takes if we want to evolve to the next level. So I appreciate everybody who has been interacting with me on my page, watching videos and commenting on my posts. I'm very grateful to people who've been coming along to my classes and events, and I intend to continue doing this work for however long it takes. I have lots of different ideas up my sleeve. Let me know what your response to this video has been, whether it makes sense to you, whether it resonates with you. If you disagree with it, just feel free to express yourself. I love to get the interaction. Thanks for interacting with me, Sinead. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of this absolutely beautiful weather, and feel free to get in touch if you would like to work with me on a one-to-one basis, or if you'd like to come along to any of my live events. I do tarot readings, I do astrology readings, I do sound healing sessions, I run a moon circle twice a month. I imagine Cam Queens is going to get started up again in September. I also have been running an amazing relationship course. It's called Relationship Mastery for Conscious Women. That has been really mind-blowing. And I intend to run another one of those in the autumn time. So there's always something interesting going on. And I always love to see new people coming along too, because it keeps things fresh. So let me know if any of that is of interest to you, and I'll be back again soon.